So in this session, we are going to discuss the third lab program. If you have been following, you notice that we have done both the first and the second lab program. And in the third lab program, you are supposed to fulfill the following requirements. You create a sign-up activity. So I will erase this for clarity's sake, and let's start afresh. All right? Okay. So what are you supposed to do? Now, if you are looking at it together as I'm doing, you'll be able to understand there are some certain conditions here. So the first one, you're supposed to create a sign-up activity. And this sign-up activity should have a username and a password. But pay attention to this one, that only the password should be validated. It should contain upper and lowercase letter, right? Must contain letters and numbers, should contain special characters. And the minimum length of the password should be what? 8. That means it can be above 8. Agreed? All right. So on sign up, okay, you should proceed to the next activity called what? Login activity. Here you should ask the user to sign in using the username and the password created during the sign up activity. So if both of them matches, you redirect the user to the third and next activity, which will display a message saying login successful. Otherwise, display a toast message that says login failed. And the user should be given only what? 2 attempts. So pay attention to this. The user has only 2 attempts. So, all right, here you're going to have just 2 attempts. What will you do with those 2 attempts? Ask the user only to enter the valid credential first one, and the second time if he enters the wrong one, you should just disable the button. That is the sign in button. You have to use what? You have to use a bundle to transfer this information from one activity to another. All right, so if you look at it, you're going to have something like this. So you have this type of menu, okay, or a display window where you'll be having if you permit me, I will say, okay, you have a text view here, you have another text view, and you have an edit text there, and the button. Okay, and similar thing is also replicated here. What about if you do it this way, where you are supposed to have what? Just 2 text views, 2 edit texts, and in there you're gonna type whatever you want to type. Okay, so instead of you having 5 different views, okay, with the button making it maybe like 6, you just have only the sign up, which is the first view, and then you have the edit text second, another edit text for the password, and then the sign up. All right, so you end up saving at least yourself some hassle. Okay, you save up some space, and this transition is going to happen. Okay, from this phase is going to move to the next phase. So if you are done with this first phase, it has to move you to the next phase, and finally goes to the third phase where it will just terminate, right? Okay, so this is what you're going to see. So let's get back here, and I'm going to open this up. I will run it, and let's check the cases, then we go back and analyze the program together. Are you there? Let's do this. Okay, so I just fired it up, and let's see what happens here. All right, so we are presented with this now. Let me just try to do it this way. So now remember, here you can type anything. It mustn't be an email ID. Remember, we are not validating this email ID. So I will type my name. Now for the password, I'm going to type maybe like I'll just type admin, okay, capital A, small d, min, at 123. All right, now I will click on sign up. It goes to the next one. So what do I have? Victor is my name. Then I get here capital A, D, min, at 123, right? Was it 123 or 1234? Okay, I hope you're paying attention. And it has, moved to the third activity. Okay, so I pause this, and let's try all the else cases. Okay, so here, if I just click without signing up, it says password does not match, invalid password. Now let me just try using an email ID here. Okay, deep learning victor at gmail.com. Okay, this is fine. Now I did not enter anything. Password doesn't match. Okay, now I'm going to enter a password which is not up to 8 characters in length. Okay, but it has to match like the rules, like ADMIN, right? Admin, it contains upper and lower case, it contains a special character. I'll say 1 2. Okay, so if you count this, ADMIN is 5, right? At 6 or 1 7. Okay, so I click on sign up, it will not go, right? Fine. So let me say 1 2 3, same thing, admin at 1 2 3. We get back here. Okay, now here I will type the same thing, deep learning victor at gmail.com. Okay, now watch here, guys. So I'm going to type a password, ADMIN, so at 1 is incomplete, right? Talk. It says invalid credentials. I'm going to repeat this the second time. Talk. Now it has disabled this. Okay, so and this toast message, please, because we said toast.long, you see here it now says failed login attempts. Okay, now let's say at this stage, try going back a little bit. Let's see. Okay, remember it's admin at 1 2 3. Yes, so I'll type the same thing here. Okay, Victor, okay, at gmail.com. Now here I'm going to type, first case I'll make a mistake, admin at 1. All right, so I hope you are seeing it. Now you see invalid credentials. So the next case I'll say 1 2 3. Okay, now it will log me in. Okay, remember this failed login attempt was previously, guys, so I remember because we changed that. So if you see, I'll stop this now. If you see, we are going to see a couple of things here. So what is it? Basically we have 3 activities, okay, and with their corresponding words, XML files, right? And you see relative layout and all whatnot. So without wasting much of our time, let's go and design this together. All right, so I'm going to start afresh. So that means we will need to close this and start from the beginning. So you go to File, click on New Project. Okay, it's going to be called, that's default empty activity. Then Next. Now here, what you're supposed to do is just go back here and choose what? Call it what? Lab 3, right? So I'll say lab, because I have used lab 3, lab 03. Okay, so I'll call it lab 33. I hope you got what my point. Ensure again is on Java and leave all these things as default. Click on finish. All right. So what will happen is, to avoid confusion, I will close the previous lab program. Okay, guys. All right. So I'm going to close this previous lab program. Okay. And then we leave this one. So the Gradle script has built successfully. Now it's time for us to get started. Okay. All right. So what are we going to do? So we will start with the design, right? So as usual, we get back to activity underscore whatever main, then exploit. I'm going to drag it this way now. Okay. And if you see this, you might encounter this also, right? So you're actually in the design view. So you're supposed to see it kind of a template, right? Pre-populated template. Just try to resize this, and there you go. You can see this hello world. Now let me show you something here. I will split this and try dragging this till this way. Again, if I go and click on this hello world and just delete it, what did you see? It has even deleted even the constraint layout, right? Undo that. Pay attention to this. Okay, so before I delete, I want to toggle this. I want to see my system UI. So I'm seeing this stuff fine. Okay, so you can actually zoom this out a bit, so you will be presented with something like this. All right, so maybe let's zoom it in. Okay, it has gone out, so zoom out a little bit. Now this is fine. So first thing you're supposed to do is go and change this. We don't want constraint layout. I want a relative layout. Okay, now again, you can use constraint layout, but yes, you know we are conversant with relative layout. So I'm going to say relative layout. Okay, so this is done. Now I can delete from here to there. So I have nothing. What am I supposed to add first? I'm supposed to add a text view. So I grab this text view. What will the text view hold? The text view will hold the what? Name, which says a sign up. So I'll try to resize this way. Okay, drag it a little bit. So resize again. Okay, something like that. And I'm going to go here. Now I'm going to leave the ID as text view. Okay, but here, whatever is going to be displayed there, I'm going to change it to what? Sign up. So I will do this again. So sign up. Now, if you see here, say I just signed up, and I might need to work on the text size again. All right. So I will only do these ones. Don't worry, guys. And the rest I have to copy paste. Okay, because we are already conversant with this. So I think what works here was maybe like 33. I don't know, 34 dB or SP. I prefer using SP. Now, if I say that, okay, 34 SP. Now I need to centralize and make it bold. I say text style is what? Bold. Fine. And then text alignment is what? Center. Okay, this is what I wanted. And excuse me, and I'm going to leave the default color as it is. Okay, now if you want to change the color, for instance, so what you do is like you can say text color. Okay, so because in the next case I might need to work on the color, so I say text color, and maybe you wanted black. Fine. So this color is going to appear by the side. In case you don't want this black, right, you can actually click on this. Okay, so you'll be seeing, since these are predefined, I believe you know where these colors are, guys. If you don't know, please feel free to refer to the previous videos. So I want this to be this, but if I wanted purple, I'll just click on that and that has appeared, right? Fine. Maybe I use green. I prefer this thing, but I want my logging successful to be this kind of stuff, so I'm going to leave it as this color. Okay, fine. So this is done. Now let's say I decided, okay, I want to turn this to uppercase. So there's another attribute called text all caps. So set it to true. Now it has become uppercase. Yes, sir, it is only sign up. I can as well rename it. No worries. Okay, but what if you have typed an entire page, right? So no problem. At this juncture, maybe I'll just push it up a little bit. Okay, so this is done. What I need next is what I need an edit text, right? Go to text, grab a plain text, drag and drop it. Okay, so I have it here. Now this plain text, now I want it to have some unique name, right? And I want it to store the what? Username, right? So I will go back and I change it as what? txt underscore username. Okay, it becomes easy for me to remember. txt underscore username. All right, so this is done. Now watch what happens here, guys. So if you go on name, say I want the name to be enter username or something like that, enter name / email ID, anything. Okay, all right. Now I'm going to work on the size again. So I say text what do you call it, size, maybe this time around I try 25 SP. Okay, fine. And then maybe I want alignment again. Alignment, I want it to be centralized. No problem. Okay, so I may not want this alignment in this case, so I will delete it, right? Because I want it to start from the left. No problem. So this is done. And if you want to work on, what do you call it? If you want to work on, how do you say? I want to work on, excuse me. So if you want to work on the style, text style, maybe you wanted it bold or something like that, so you can go to text style. Okay, so I'm going to choose, for now, just put some stuff. I'll say text style, and maybe I want it bold for now. Okay, so this is that. So what else do I need? I think I don't need anything here. Okay, I have actually changed that and stuff like that. Okay, but one thing will happen. Let's just run this and then I'll tell you another thing which we can do before we proceed. So this is done. What you can do is just Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V. Okay, why? Okay, so I'm just going to copy this and paste. Now see here, it has pasted, right? And this has come as text underscore user 2. You just go here, drag it. Okay, now I think I should start positioning them properly now, but you got what I mean. So here I wanted this and then I wanted this one. Okay, now what I will need to do is I need that to be what for my password, so I'll change it to text underscore password. So you can call it pass, no problem, whatever works best for you. Now here I will say enter password. Enter what? Password. Fine. All right, so at this juncture, I need now last thing, which is a button, right? So I'll go to buttons, I'll grab a button and I place it there. Now this button, I just feel free to resize it a bit, okay? And then here, I want the button to read what? You read that. The button to read what? Sign up. Agreed? Okay, so I will go back here. So the ID is going to be btn underscore sign up because I need another one for login underscore sign up. Okay, what am I going to say here? I want it to read sign up, sign. Now you got the idea, so I can use this, no problem. Sign up. Fine. Then I need to make the size a little big, so I say text size. I want it now maybe 25 sp. Fine. All right, so this is what I wanted. I think this should be fine. Now I will just resize it a little bit. Okay, so I will just run this and I will show you what I want to explain another concept. Okay, so I fire up the emulator and just allow it to just populate. Okay, fine. That should be done in a while. Okay, so if you see here, please listen, guys. Even if you want to enter an email, okay, say hello, it's still there, right? Hello or something like that. So this is not what I wanted, right? I want, whenever I click on this, it should kind of disappear, right? I don't want to be doing this, okay. I don't want to be doing this stuff, here I only cleared it myself, and for password I have to clear it, and the password should not be visible. Agreed? Okay, so I'm going to remove all these things now. I'll stop this. Okay, so basically I will minimize this back, and as you are looking at it now, so we will change this. Okay, instead of it to read instead of it to be text, we change it to what? Hint. hint. Now sorry, that's not the sign up. That's not what I wanted. I wanted it on okay, I wanted it on the email and the text column. Okay, so I'll get back here. Here I needed this to read, to show me, to display as a placeholder, so I'll change that to hint. Fine, you got that. And then I'll get back here, I change this also to hint. But there's another. Okay, please pay attention whenever you are deleting some stuff. Okay, see, don't do the way I'm doing. Okay, gradually do it. Otherwise, if you go and remove the colon again, you have to type it afresh. Okay, hint. Now what I want to do is I want this password, right? Because if you see here, so input type here says it is a what's it called, this is text passing. Okay, so I don't want that to happen actually. So I want, for the username, I want it to be what? Maybe text email ID, and the password I want it to be what? What? Text password. Okay, so I'll go back here. So for the username, I want it to be, input type should be, so once you start typing, you're gonna get it text. So start from beginning. So text email address, something like this. And then for the password, I want the password to be what? Not text person, but it's going to be what? Text password. Fine. All right, so as you have done till here, please ensure that whatever you've done is actually what you wanted. So feel free to run it. And now if you click on this, so you can say hello world. Okay, and that goes fine. And then password, you can say hello, or say Wakanda at 123. Fine. Okay, so Wakanda at 123, and that works. So when I click on this, nothing happens, right? All right, that's cool. So I'm going to stop all this now. Fine, and let's start. Okay, so this is done. What do I need next? I need what now? I need a replica of this, right? I need the same thing for my sign in activity. Agreed? Okay, so what will I do now? I'm going to go there. Okay, and I will create another activity called what? Login activity. So how do we do that? So you get back here. Okay, go to the package name, right click on that, new, get back to activity, and it is called what? It's called an empty activity. So give it a name. By default, it will come as main activity 2.xml or whatever. Now activity, sorry, main activity 2.java and activity underscore main.xml. Please pay attention here. This activity, whatever here, is your Java file, okay, and this one refers to your XML file. Now don't choose this because this says I want it to be the default page, okay, like a similar approach to your home page if you are good with web designing. So what I'm going to do here is I'll call it what? Login activity, right? So login activity. Now you're gonna get activity underscore login, fine, and it's the same thing and the same language, so finish it. Now allow this to populate. Okay, so far there is no error anywhere, right? So if you go to resources folder, go to layouts, you see they are there, okay? And by default, you can actually see them here as well, all right? So let's get back to now my activity underscore login. So for that, I'm going to go back to my activity underscore main. You can actually see it here. So I will copy everything, right? Because only what I need is to just change some stuff. Control C, go back to activity underscore that, and go back to my code mode or keep it at split mode so that I'll see whatever changes I'm going to make. Now I will get back here. Now I press Ctrl A, I press Ctrl V. All right, so the whole thing has happened in a short time. Okay, so it just happened in a short time. And then what you need to do now is you need to ensure that actually is what exactly you wanted, right? So I will go back, click on this, so it points you to sign up. What you want it to read is login. Yes, okay. Now I'll just type it as login, fine. All right, okay. So it's not logging up, okay. So login, so this is fine. So same thing, you say enter username, enter password, no problem. So here becomes what? Login. All right, fine. So I will say login. Okay, so this is fine now. Maybe I want to change this now to a green stuff. Okay, some green color I wanted actually. So on that login, I want some color. I will change it to, so let's see. Okay, so the easiest way to do this is just come here and just click on this. So it's going to show you all the colors that you have defined in the colors.xml. Otherwise, you can actually create the color yourself. I believe you know how to do that. So I wanted maybe something of that nature, or I want this time around, I want maybe this. Okay, green, showing that. Okay, fine. Okay, you have to log in. So this is fine. So if I just run this two now, nothing will happen actually. It's going to start from my main login page, sign up page, because there's nothing that actually connects these two. Okay, so now we are done. So we need the last activity, right? So the last activity says login successful. So if you get back here, we have created the sign up, we have created the login. So we need the last one, right, which says login successful. That's it. So what are we going to do? We go back here again. Okay, so keep this in the code mode. Go back here to the package name, right click new, go to activity, get back to empty activity, call it what? Login successful, right? Okay, so what you call it, anything, you can give it a name. I'll say login successful, login, and I'm using a Pascal case in here for all the class names. Successful. Okay, success, I don't know how to spell it again. Success full. Okay, anything. Okay, now finish. Allow this also to populate. So what do you need in this case now? For the XML file, I just need one what? One what? Text view, right? So I will go back to the code mode, right? So there is actually nothing here in the login successful dot whatever. And by the way, ensure that again you have to change this to your what? Layout, relative layout. So I'll change that to relative layout. So this is done, and then what I need to do is I will just grab my text view and just place it there, and there I have to maybe drag and drop, rearrange some stuff. Okay, do something like this, fine. So I'll say logged in successfully. Okay, now text is fine, I can say logged in successfully or successfully logged in. Okay, anything, fine. All right, so again, you have to modify it. Say text alignment, text size, call it maybe this time around maybe 25 again. Okay, and maybe I should increase it this time around maybe to 35 or something like that. Okay, now I need my alignment, keep it at the center. Text alignment, say center. Okay, and then maybe text color, maybe this time around fine, keep it black. So you can actually click on this, and then maybe I wanted this teal color. Okay, something like that. Fine, you can decide to make it bold also, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so fine, maybe yes, I wanted this to be bold. I will just say what, text style, I want it to be bold. Fine, or maybe italicized, anything. Okay, cool. What if I want it to be bold or and italicized? So I have to use this operator. Okay, it's like pipe operator. So I'll say italic. Okay, so it becomes bold and italicized, but it doesn't look nice, right? So I prefer to leave it like bold only. Fine. So we are done with this now. Okay, so we are done with the design. Let's get back to the Java code. Okay, so for now, to avoid confusion, I know that I really don't need this, right? So I can feel free to close the XML file, and then I'm going to close the successful login.java file because I will not write any code here. In case if I need them, right, my Java file is here, I will double click, it pops up. And then if I need the XML file as well, I can actually go back here, okay, and the layout, and then I could double click on that and it pops up. Okay, so for now I'm going to close both, and then I need to start working on the activity underscore main.java. So that is this one. Okay, so I will keep this way. Fine. So after this I have this, then after this I have just, maybe it doesn't really matter. Okay, I just want to like play with the stuff. Okay, the arrangement. Okay, so now this is done. What are we going to do next? Can you guess? Okay, so we begin to map them now, right? So for us to map them now, so I need to come here now and tell, okay, I need what? An edit text of type what? I need the username of type edit text, right? And the password of type edit text. So I will just say edit text. Now, as soon as I type that, okay, just watch, guys, it's going to import it directly. So if you watch it has imported edit text. Okay, so let me open this now so that you see what is happening. Okay, so now I will say I want a variable called username. Now this variable, and then I need another one called password. Okay, actually I need both of them, both username and password, right? Okay, this is done. Now I need them also, I need a button, right? So I will say button. Now as you type this now, you see this red thing. Okay, this error message will appear. It says this is present in Android or widgets, the button. Do you want to import them? Just press Alt Enter. So you press Alt Enter. Okay, import the class. So it's done. You have imported it. So now button, I want a variable of type button only. And then since this will be disabled after 2 attempts, so I set a counter variable to be equal to what? 2. Okay. All right. So once this is done, what I'm going to do next now, I need to start, picking up the IDs, right? So basically, if you go back to main activity underscore main.xml, so I think now I leave only the code mode. So I need to pick this ID, right? So this is for username under edit text. I need to pick for password, and I need to pick for button, right? Similarly, I have to pick them for activity underscore whatever. Okay, I log in. So text all. Now this is the thing, I did not change this one. Okay, so please remember here for username, no problem, right? So for login, I have to change it. Okay, so I can call them text login underscore username and login underscore password. I hope you got my point. So instead of text underscore username, because it will point it to the same variable. Look at what I mean, right, guys? Text underscore password, text underscore username. So I'm going to change this one now to what? Login underscore username, login underscore username, and then I'll change this also to what? Login underscore password. And finally, this is not a button sign up, it will be button what? Sign in. Agreed? Sign in. It's like signing in. Okay, so I have this. Okay, or button login, better, button underscore login. Okay, so this makes sense now. Okay, So we have actually changed most of them. Okay, password. So since I'm using small letter, I might as well use lowercase letter here, no problem. Now, all right, so you don't need to save all, because when you run the application, it's going to save it, but just in case, I'm going to save it. So this is fine. I'm going to close on my resources folder, and let's get back here. So main underscore activity underscore main underscore whatever activity.java. Remember, these are, oh sorry, see, I'm actually doing it in the logging. So this is what I want you guys to pay attention. Okay, so you see here, I was not supposed to work on this login whatever, okay, for now, but I have ended up actually coding it in the wrong place. So this is what I want most of you to pay attention to. Okay, ensure that wherever you're typing it, I'm on the what main activity, right? So this is what I wanted first. I want to deal with the main activity. Once I am done, I will go to what login activity. Agreed, guys? Okay, so I will repeat the same thing here. Edit text, fine. Of username of type edit text, right? So username and what password, both will be of type what edit text, fine. Now I need for button, so button, okay. Now this is btn of type button, okay. And what else do I need? I need a counter of type int, so this counter will be equal to 2, fine, 2 times only. Now this is done, okay. I will look at the Uncreate method, which was there by default, guys. So the Uncreate method, what I need to do now is to grab all those what IDs, right, and store them. For the username, I'm going to store it in this variable called username. So that means I need to find what now? I say find view by ID, right, guys? Okay, find view by ID. What is it that I need? I'll say r dot what id dot. So what am I looking for now? I'm looking for the username. Okay, so if you watch here now, so you see I'm actually, I left them as text view 1 and text view 2. Okay, guys, so text underscore username, what did I call it? txt, not text view 1 and 2. Okay, so be very careful of how you name your variables. Okay, text underscore username, this is what I wanted, and I grab that, put your semicolon, fine. Then for password, I need a similar thing also, so I'm going to say find view by ID. Then I have r.id dot what I call the txt underscore password, fine. Okay, semicolon. All right, so this is done. So what I need to do next now, I now need to do what now? To check whether what the username and password, oh sorry, whether the password is valid, please, not whether the username and password is valid. So what I will do, remember this is opening of this method, so this is done. I'll come out of that now. Now I need to check whether the password is valid. So this password, the validity of the password will only happen on the click of a button, right? So I'm coming back to my activity underscore main.xml. Now I'll look at this button. This says signups. Okay, so whenever I click on this button, I need to call an onclick event. So this onclick event, I will call it now for now I'll call it sign up event. Okay, so now this is what I always tell you, right? So press or click or enter, otherwise wait for a while. Okay, see, you just type that, just maybe click anywhere else and then get back here and click. You watch this now, it has moved from yellow, go back here. So initially it was this yellow icon, right, which is like suggestions and stuff, but once you move back to this now, you see the yellow has turned red. So you click on this now. Don't suppress this, guys. It says create sign up event in main activity.java. So ensure you're always there, main activity. Okay, you saw the mistake, right, which I nearly made that blunder. So you see here, we are now in sign up events. Okay, now what do you want to do on sign up? Okay, I need to store whatever I'm going to get in variable called username. So what I need here is I need to get this username, right? Fine. So that means I need this method get text dot what to string. Fine. So I've got the username, I stored it in a variable called uname. Similarly, I need for password as well, right? So I call it pwd, not people with. Okay, so I call it pwd, and I have the variable already called password dot. Now I need to get the corresponding what id whatever and convert it to string. Okay, so this is done. Now once this is over, now I need to check what we mean by validity, right? So if I want to check what is valid and what is invalid, so I need to look at the constraints once more. So I'll go back here and see the condition. Okay, so the condition says if the password valid, right? So I should validate the password based on the following constraint. It should contain minimum of whatever, 8, contain upper and lower case, contain blah blah blah, contain blah blah blah. Okay, so I said okay, fine, so let's go and see what it's going to contain there. Okay, so for that I need to check what I mean by a valid what password. So if, now listen here, let's see if the password is valid. So if the password is valid, okay, so I'm going to perform some action, right? So I'm going to move you from one activity to another, right? So pwd, I need, sorry, not pwd, okay? So if it is valid, I need to move you from what? One activity to another, right? So what if it's invalid, right? So I need to throw a message saying invalid password, okay? So if that is the case, I might as well check for the invalidation. Now, again, it's already turned yellow, telling you to create this method, right? Called what? Invalid password. So you click on that. So now, if you want to do this now, let's maybe, since you have done this, let's now finish this invalid password, right? Before we go to valid password, okay? Okay. So is what? Valid, right? Okay. So fine. So what do you mean by a valid password? So in invalid password, don't get confused, guys. If the password is invalid, what are you supposed to do? You should throw a... Okay, so welcome back, guys. So if the password is invalid, you should throw a toast message. So once you type toast C, it's going to populate almost the entire thing for you. Okay. Now, what I need to do is I need to, say the context here is, now listen here, guys. So I'm on main activity, right? Now I need to say that this password does not match or invalid password. So I will go here now. What is the context? So the context is main activity, right? Okay. And when I use this keyword, I'm referring to this activity. Okay. Now, what is the message I want to say? I want to say invalid password. So you see why I like Android Studio, it has given you almost everything, right? So invalid password, and by default it is len.short. Yes, you can leave this toast message, it will appear and disappear. So let's leave it, but if you want to increase it, you can change it to len.long. So let me just show you what I mean here. So len underscore, I beg your pardon, okay, underscore long. So we might leave it as long now, and in the next one we leave it as default as short only. Okay, so once this happens, you just come out of it and then that's it, you do nothing. Okay, fine. So this is done. That is when the password is not valid. However, if the password is valid, so you need to tell me now what I mean by password, valid password. So once I come out of this now, okay, that is when password is what? Invalid, right? Now, and what am I checking actually? So I'm going to use intent to check, right? Which password, right? So I will just use intent, and once you used type intent, okay, by default it should import it, but it's present in content.intent. Okay, it's a class. So create an instance of that intent. So I'll call it IT for short. Okay, I will say initialize this. So say new intent. Now what am I actually doing? I'll say main activity dot what this. Okay, please listen, guys. So why this is necessary is if it's invalid, come out. Otherwise, if it is valid, move to the next activity. Okay, so this is in the sign up event. I hope you're able to follow. In the sign up event, once I click on that button, you should check whether the password is valid, right? So we are going to check that condition in this block. So once it's valid, it should move you from this activity to the what? Next activity. What's the name of that next activity? Login activity dot, not dot this now, but dot class. It's already there, right? Fine. So, and you have to actually start the activity. So use that object. So say dot, you have to say put extra. Now the username is what I need. Just give some string. So it's calling you, it's telling you the name. So I'll say use some username, just some string only I need. And here I want, what is the username variable? It's called uname, right? So it should be there. Okay, so based on what you call it. And similarly, I'm going to use it for the password also. I say it dot what put extra. Now this I'm going to do for what? pwd. Okay, fine. And I'm going to say the same thing. I say it is for what? Password. Fine. So this is done. Now nothing will happen unless you start the activity. So I'll say start, not start motion, start activity, not activities. Fine. Okay, and which has to take a parameter, which is the intent which you created. Fine. Okay, the intent object. So this is done. Now I'm going to look at the valid password. So in this valid password now, okay, that means I will need what, guys? If the password, okay, pwd. Now the length of the password, right? If the length of the password is less than what? 8, right? So if it is less than 8, come out. I should not do anything, right? Return false. I don't need to even check anything, right? So no need to waste time checking. Okay. So else if it is not up to, say, now it's not a lowercase. Fine. So if you see here now, once you type lowercase, it's like, okay, what exactly are you trying to say? You said lowercase, but I don't know what a lowercase character is, right? So we need to tell it what a lowercase character is exactly. That leads us to what we call regular expressions. So let's do some quick tutorial on regular expression. I think I opened that here. So regular expression in Java. Okay. Now I found this useful, I think, from here. I think Java T point, I think. So if you go here now, you're going to see something here. Okay. So this is what regular expression, or regex for short, is an application programmer's interface that used to define patterns for searching and manipulating string, which is present in java.ut.regex package. So by default, you're going to have matcher interface, matcher class pattern, and pattern list. So let's look at something here, guys. So say example, I wanted this. This is what interests us, okay? So that means this should contain A or B or C. It's a simple class, right? Now, if you get carat symbol inside this square braces, that means it should contain any other character aside A, B, and C. So it can start with D to Z, all, okay? Even capital also D to Z, and even capital also A to C. Okay. Now, if see here, it's starting from small letter A to Z, and again capital letter A to Z. So this will cycle through that, okay, with inclusive range and all the whatnot. So you see, this is what we actually needed. That means we need what? Now the matcher class, and we need also the pattern, right? So that's why we get back here now, okay, and we say, okay, we need a pattern, right? So pattern that will describe what a lowercase is. So as you type this now, it will import it by default. If you didn't import it, you go and import it. So by now, if you go here, you see it has imported it, and it's under regular expressions, regex for short. So pattern, I'm going to define what a lowercase is now, okay? So lowercase is going to be what? Pattern dot compile. Okay, so you see the dot, once you press that compile, what nature of string is it expecting, right? So this string, you put your carat symbol, okay, and it should contain, now once you get star, it says it should begin with what? Small letter A to Z. Okay, we have validated the first one, and it should contain one or more of those letters, and it should end with that. Okay, so dollar symbol, okay, and this should end with a character. Okay, so semicolon. This is done. I'm going to copy the same thing. I'll do it for uppercase, and I'll do it for number as well. Okay, so I'll paste here, paste there, and lastly paste here. So I'll tell you why. So uppercase is done, right? Sorry, lowercase is done. So I'm going to go to uppercase. Now, in uppercase, what you need to do, just change this from A to Z to what? Capital A to Z. Fine. So this is also done. Now, I want to do for numbers, right? So I'm going to change this from 0 to 9. Okay. Now, the last one is called special character, right? So that is lowercase. So this will be uppercase, and this will be numbers. Okay, not number case. Fine. If you want, you can call it number case also. Fine. Okay, I call it numbers. Okay. So lastly will be what? Special character, right? So for short, I'll call it special, C-I-A-L, special car. Okay. So what will be special character now? So if you watch carefully, you're going to see, let's write the true condition. So it has to contain A to Z small letter, then A to Z capital letter, agreed, then 0 to 9. Okay, so this actually we can write in one shot. Okay, above it has to begin with this and contain one or more of that. Fine, I should also end with a that of them, but it should not end with a number like in most cases. Okay, now if this holds true, how do we now write the false case? That means you come back here and you put this negation, okay, caret symbol. You can actually see it here, right? It says here, you see, this is kind of negation, right? Fine. Okay, so we are done with all the stuff, all right, and then we now start writing our valid function. So if it's not lowercase, right? Okay, so it's telling me, okay, lowercase what exactly? Now I have used compile, I need a matcher, and immediately you press dot, you see it's going to tell you, actually like prompt you, matching what? The password, right? So it does the password match with what you actually entered. Okay, so you have to say dot matches. So matcher dot matches, it goes like that. So if it doesn't, you come out, no need to check. Okay, and then display the toast message. Fine, say it doesn't match. Okay, now you check again for what I just checked. Now I checked for lowercase, right? So I'm going to check for uppercase. So what I can do here is I will just copy the entire thing and just change the cases. Agreed? So Control C, come back here, Control V, again Control V, and that's it, right? Okay, now lowercase is done, then just go there and say upper. As I begin to type it, it will appear. Fine. So, oh sorry, so uppercase dot match dot matches, fine, the same thing, and then return false. Then I need now what? Numbers. So I'll go back there. If it's not a number, fine, okay, return false. Now if it is not, I need one more for special character. For what? Special character. So as I type special, it should appear. All right, return false. So what will happen if it is? Okay, so if it is valid, so that means I need a default case, right? So that default case is okay, return true. Fine, and we are done. Now if you watch carefully, there is no error message anywhere so far. Okay, now let's test this, okay, and see whether it's going to actually move from main activity to what? Login activity. So I will run this now and let's see. Okay, so we're going to try something here. I'll say hello. Okay, I will say admin at 123. All right, so I will click on sign up, so it's going to log in. Okay, so if you watch here, if I click on login, it's not doing anything, right? So let's get back and check the wrong case. Okay, so I will not enter anything. It says invalid password. Okay, so I'll say admin whatever something. Okay, now it should also tell me invalid password, right? Because it's less than 8. So this is working. Now we stop this for now and then we continue with what? Now we move to login activity. So what should happen is after we have actually taken this from, we have taken values from login and passed it through what intent coming to what, sorry, from main activity coming to login. I need to actually check this, right, whether it matches or not, right? So and then after that I need to now call again an event listener, right? So on what? On the edit, but on the button. So what I will do here is I will get back first to my activity underscore login, and I know that after this login I need to proceed to the next stage, right, where I will tell the person login successful. So I will say on click now. On click method is what I'm actually looking for. So on click, what I should do is I should call a login event. Okay. All right. So click out, just wait for it, it will appear. Okay. Or you just go back and press Alt Enter. But I always prefer this so that I will read whatever instruction is giving me next. Now it should be there by now. Okay. So it's telling me, okay, this guy is still not there. Now it has appeared. Okay. Now I'm going to click this in main activity, right? All right. So this is fine. And if you go back to that, okay, it's still giving me an error. Activity underscore login. Okay. So I would get back to my login activity, and okay, so now we are in login activity.java. Okay, so what we do is we now try to again start from the beginning, right? So I wanted here, I needed username and password of type edit text, so I'm going to do the same thing here of username, fine, and what, password. Then for button, okay, btn, and then counter, again I'll set it to 2, no problem. Okay, all right, so this is fine. Now let's get all the different IDs and assign them to their respective variables. So I need here now, I need my username, right? Now username should be holding the value of the login ID, I think. Okay, so login, it says r dot, okay, so now this r should be capital letter, caps lock. Login dot r dot id dot is called login underscore username. This is what I'm looking for. Okay, now I'll say semicolon. Similarly, I'll go to password. You should hold that. I'll say find view by id. Now I'll say r dot id dot. Now I'll say login underscore password, semicolon. Okay, similarly for button also I need, again I'll say find view by id. I'll say r dot id dot btn, where is that? Okay, this is login button. Okay, all right, so far this is done. Now let's go and implement this login event, right? So when we click on this login event, what we need to do is we should check whatever we have got from what, the sign up activity, right? And then check if it is matching to what we have in the login activity. So for that, I need the same thing which I had there. So string username. Okay, so this will be username dot something dot to string. So I'll get the text and then to string. This is fine. I'm going to do it also for password. So this should fix it. And now I should be able to get it. Okay, fine. So password dot get text dot to string. So this works. Now I need to get for the what registered user, right? Fine. So I just use a variable. I'll call it registered username because I want to compare this registered username and registered user password with the username and the password. Agreed? Okay. So registered username. Now I need what now? I'll use intent to get them. So I'll say get intent. It should be there. Okay. That's what get string extra. So we need this method. Okay. Now what I need actually now is the username, right? So it's the user name. Okay. And similarly for the password string, now I call it registered password. So this registered password should be something like that. Get what? Intent again. Okay. Dot get string. Okay. Now this is get string extra. So I need the password. Okay. Okay. So this is fine. So what will happen after we've got these two strings now? Okay, the password and the username. We now need to check if they tally, right? If they are the same. So if registered, okay, I said registered username is equal to what now? The username, right? Fine. And because both conditions must match, right? So and I need another one is called registered password, right? So registered red. Okay, I use red. Registered password. Okay, dot equals something like that. Now, what is the password? The password string, pwd. Fine. If they are equal, what should I do? Can you tell me? I need to move from what login activity to what login successful activity, right? So what I will do now is I now use an intent, right? Same thing. So I say it is equal to what? New intent. So here I got this. Now I will need to move from this activity, right? So login dot this to which activity? Login successfully should be there, and it has to be dot class. Okay. Now, if I'm moving, actually, I should also transfer the credentials, right? And don't forget to start the activity. Okay. Start activity. Now it has to take the intent object, right? So I called it it, right? Not int. Okay. Now this is fine. That is the true condition. Okay, so if this condition doesn't hold true, what you should do is you should now do what now? You should display a toast message, right? Saying that it is what? Invalid. So I will go here, I'll say login activity, right? Dot this. So what's the message? It is what? That is in the context. Dot this, the message will say it is what? Invalid. Invalid credentials or something like that. And now I might actually use the short this time around. Okay, and you have to show the message. Okay, now in this case, now since we set the counter variable to be equal to 2, actually it should be 3 actually, because it says after 2 unsuccessful attempts, right? So this will only give you 1 unsuccessful attempt. So I'll go back here and I'll still increase it to what? 3. Got it? Because I need to try this 2 times, right? Then only it will fail. Okay, so once this happens, right? So I need to do what now? Decrement the counter. So it starts from 3, now it goes to 2, now it goes to 1, and it comes to 0. Or you can start from 1, 2, and then you get to 3. Any of the above you can actually use. So if you go to counter, now if it gets to 0, what you should now do, you have now tell the person maybe like failed login attempts, something like that. So for that, I need a toast again for that. So you say toast. Now I need, now one thing you should pay attention here is I need a context. The context is I need to use this get base context method. Okay, so I'll just type that get, and you see it here. I'm referring to this one, base context method. Okay, now what I should display is failed what? Something like that. So I say failed login attempts, or exhausted all your login attempts, something like that. Fine. And again, dot short, I want to use short message here. Okay, and what happens after that is done, guys? Do you remember? So you now need to what? Disable the button, right? Otherwise, if you leave it, the person will keep trying again even after the failed thing has happened. So set enabled to what? False. Okay, so let's go and check this now. I hope I still have one error here, expected at this. Okay, yes, because I didn't put semicolon. Okay, so this is fine. I think there shouldn't be any problem here. Let's just see. Okay, so I'm gonna try something now. I'll keep it simple. Okay, I will say Victor, VICTOR. Now say, now I'm gonna use ADMIN at 123. Okay, so this is fine. We just click on this, it's gone to that side. I'll say VICTOR. Now I will try to enter the wrong stuff. So it says invalid credentials, right? Now I will say ADMIN at 123. Now it should log in, successfully logged in. So this actually worked. Okay, so now this is the true case, right? So what I will do is I will run this app again, and let's go to the false cases. Okay, so I will say VICTOR, then I will say here ADMIN at 123. So ADMIN at 123. Now I click on sign up. Now I'll type the same thing here. Okay, so I'm going to do two things now. I will try using small case here, then I will use the correct password here, ADMIN at 123. Now I will see what happens here. 1 2 3. Okay, so it has actually disabled it, right? And you see failed login attempt. So this is working. Okay, so now I will just do one thing. I'll go a little back, and then this. Okay, and then I will come back here. I will say Victor. Now here I will say ADMIN. Now remember it's at 1 2 3, right? Login, that did not work. Second time this did not work. Let's now put at 1 2 3. He should now log in. Okay, fine. Okay, successfully log in. Please don't forget the failed attempt was the previous one because we used those.long. Okay, so yes, we have successfully completed this. All right. So guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of this tutorial. So if you found this useful, guys, just feel free to go to the comment section, just do some stuff.